our game design area, and we're going to do some stuff. Now, yesterday we were talking about cleaning up the Miro board into an Excel file, which I thought was going to be really boring to watch, and I was correct. It was both boring to do and boring to watch, because I did do it last night, and it took many hours to get everything kind of in a condition. So if you remember correctly, this was our design board, which we did in Miro. And let me go to that screen. So this was our design board and all the things that we were talking about and thinking about putting in and all that stuff. All the things that we just threw against the wall to come up with stuff, when we were just spitballing the game, so all that's there. So what I did last night is I literally went through it all and made a spreadsheet of it, which I know what people are going to say. Jerry Ray made a spreadsheet. Who knew? Oh, wait, everybody. So here's the way I've set it up, though. I want to show you this so that you can see the way I was talking about it before, as well as how it just kind of works. So let me find this. Where's the screen? This is the one. So, okay, I need to make this bigger, so I need to do it this way. Okay, good. So here's kind of the way I've set it up is if you look on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see that, but on the bottom there is our game, our story, the forest area, the family crypt, the village, the mines that we'll get to, the maps for the mines, the faraway town, which we haven't done anything for, and then the farm, which we really haven't done anything for. And let me pull this over here so I can see both of them at once. I have to be able to see both these screens at once so I can see what you guys are seeing. So yeah, so on the bottom here is everything. So if we look at our game tab, is we have our characters. Let me zoom in. We have our main characters here. So we have our main character, which is our 10-year-old boy. These are the things that he can do. We have boy loves his grandfather, all that kind of stuff. Then we have the grandfather. Oh, sorry, that's why is that not doing that? Okay, weird. Oh, because it's a big old thing in it. Let's do a wraparound on that. Do a wrap on that. Nope. Okay, well, he's going to do that. I think something got put in the wrong place. Let me grab this and move it over here. I think this actually goes over here. Oh, something's weird. Oh, it's not even that one. Exit. Undo. Okay. It is actually over here. These need to put into wraps, but let's go through this first. So we have the grandfather here. Then we have the grandfather's brother here. Then we have our story elements, and this is what I'll wrap these. So we have our story elements. Is a story follows a boy who has grown up in a small village. One day he returns home to find his beloved grandfather has gone missing. Determined to find him, he sets out on a journey to uncover the truth about his grandfather's disappearance. As he begins his search, he discovers that his evil uncle, who owns a large coal mining company just beyond the village, may be involved in his grandfather's disappearance. So that he can find out that in the village and stuff like that, which we'll get to. He is determined to confront his uncle and bring his grandfather home, but he knows that he will need to be strong and wise in order to succeed. Determined to gain the strength and wisdom needed, he turns to his ancestors for guidance. He visits the family tomb where he speaks with the spirits of his 9 ancestors. Each ancestor teaches him the valuable lesson and gives him the ability to level up in strength and wisdom. As he continues on his journey, he encounters many obstacles and enemies, including bandits and corrupt officials. He also meets new friends who help him along the way, including a wise monk and a skilled blacksmith. As he levels up, he becomes stronger and more skilled in combat, and he also learns valuable lessons about honor, loyalty, and the importance of family. Eventually, he reaches the coal mine company and confronts his uncle, who reveals that he has kidnapped his grandfather to force him to reveal the location of a hidden treasure. We can change this later, but this is what we'll just do for now. The boy fights his uncle and his henchmen and freeing his grandfather and recovering the treasure. With the help of the ancestors, oh wow, right into commercial. Sorry about that, guys. We'll continue that. And I will not be stupid, even though I've already been stupid, and I will remove that so you guys can actually see. Sorry about that. See, I get started on something, and then I get very focused, and I forget to look and remove things like the logo that was in the way. Logo's in the way. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, thank you. I wasted it. I wasted the logo. Sorry. Logo's on the way. Cliffhanger. So we are back. Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for the ads to be done, and then I'll continue what we're doing here, and then I'll have to. I can hide that lane, so let's do that. Because there's a lot of text in there, it breaks up our lists, but. I've tried to set these in a logical order. I probably think I need to move the characters to after the name of the game. So we'll see. But as we have said before, this is how I would do it now, not necessarily how everybody's taught to do it, not necessarily how every book tells you how to do it, not necessarily how anybody that took design design school teach game design in school. That's all good, and all that stuff will get you where you want to be. But I was asked how I would do it, so this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it how I would do it. Okay, so we're back. So we were down here to the final one as. With the help of his ancestors and new friends, the boy is able to bring his grandfather home and restore peace to the village. He decides to use this treasure to help the village and the people who helped him in his journey. The game ends with him returning to the family tomb, where he thanks his ancestors for the guidance and looks forward to a bright future for himself and his family. Yep, up. It's a lovely logo, though. Yes, it is. Wilmer, my friend Wilmer made me a t-shirt with that logo on it, and I said, I have to have that. That is awesome. I'm going to use that. And he does know I'm using it, and he has approved it. So let's hide that so that we can bring all this stuff back up. Should. No, it's not going to. Damn it. Unhide. What we need to do is we need to unwrap. Then it will bring everything back up, but it will spill over into other things. But we'll. So then I was looking at what the names were, what names we had gone over, then our controls, what we have for controls, and the one you can't see because of the overlay is oh, I thought it was in there. I didn't put it in there, but spacebar, probably spacebar will be used for attacks. Yeah. The way my hand works, I would use spacebar as the attack. So I put that there just to have it. And yes, I left the A out. So then we have music things that we need from music. So we need a name, we need a main theme, we need a hero theme, we need a scary area theme, we need an Uncle Bad theme, and then we need a success. Which means basically the end one. We also need a success sound. Because that's what I'm doing here is just writing down things that we know we need. We need footsteps. We need bowstrings. We need whooshing sounds. We need animal sounds. We need a success sound, etc. So this is the page that we'll keep all of our overall game information on. And then story is next. So I'll probably move all the long writing stuff to here. But I wanted to say, I don't think I have the right opening. I think this would not be story. I think this actually should be game flow. Well, let's call it game flow for right now, because we have our opening. So we had an opening, and then we also did an alt for the opening. We made a list of gameplay stuff. We made a list of levels that we want him to reach. We made a list of things that he could do to get from level 1 to level 2. And it's not a complete list. It's just what we had on the board. We'll have to, as we build the game in the game engine, a lot of the stuff, as we see how it works and see how he interacts with it, it will bring us, these lists will grow. So this was one of the things that we were saying, to achieve 0 to 1 day in the life, where he basically gathers logs, cleans the hut, makes the bed, washes dishes, clean dojo, all basic things, gets things ready to go fishing. The streams are all up there in YouTube. So if you missed one, no, this was just what I did last night. Savvy Otter, is I was converting our board that we did, which is the one back here in the back. Let's see, it's still up there. I was converting this to a spreadsheet just for ease of use. But I didn't add anything in here other than the story elements on the first page. I didn't add anything in here that wasn't on this page, because I wanted to keep to what we did there, so that there's a clean separation between, okay, we've gone and done our happy stuff and made some cool things in here, but everything that's in the spreadsheet is actually on this board somewhere. I mean, everywhere, everything. Even when we get to all this. So this, in fact, this part here was over here. So this was, which has been on the board for a while now. And I just basically taken it all and breaking it down. So because on the board you go, oh, well, that's a lot. But when you start to see it like broken it down like this, you're like, oh my God, there is a lot there. And that's what we're kind of doing. So now it's a spreadsheet. Okay, so we talked about the leveling ups. We talked about achievements he can do from 0 to 1. And then Granddad's motivations. So we talked about that before, which is the good kid, praise, reward, bad kid, discipline, loss. Then we talked about forest, and I was putting together all the stuff in the forest. So our main character, what he has, these are the things that he has with him. He has clothes, he has a tote bag, he has his pet, his Lucky Rock, named Fred, and a slingshot. Then Granddad's house, areas in Granddad's house, what's all in there. So this is just basically the list, and this one's a little screwed up, but we'll fix it later. Yeah. And then that's what I did, is this was supposed to be formatted like that. That's what I did wrong. There. So these are areas, then the rooms, yeah, and objects, and then areas, things in the forest, like areas in the forest, what logs and trees in the forest, plants, things like that, stones, all the animals in the forest, river fish and lake fish, so then Granddad's training, big workout area, bathrooms, office space, and then mats, posters of the ancestors, cellar passage, because we want to put a passage in the cellar for stuff for later. The clinic, we have a nurse in waiting rooms, exam rooms, bathrooms, front desk. And then the fisherman's hut, the only thing we put down for right now was a fisherman. We have a guy that sells us fish stuff. I think for the scary theme, it could be like Milk Oldfield Turb Bells song, but softer and not that crazy. Okay, cool. I'll have to look up what that is. I think I know what it is, but I have to look it up. Yeah, it was just organizing, and it took quite a few hours. So it would have taken us a few, like a week to do it online, because we're only online with this for about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So this is the one that we did online, which was yesterday or the day before, which is just, these are all the great grandfather, these are all the family, these are all the guys in the family crypt and all the information for them, which we separated. And then this is, now I put the village in here, you know, and we're like, okay, who are the citizens in the village? You know, what is the economy? What is used for trade in there? So right now I just have a dollar sign because I don't know. We haven't decided what the valuable things in the game are that people want to trade. Yeah, it's not going to put the link up. You'll have to put the link up, Pirateer Frank, in the Discord. Chat here won't let you put links up. It just comes up as three asterisks. Okay, but then we also have, okay, in our spreadsheet we had the different buildings. So here are all the buildings, and then who's in them. So that we have in the bakery we have a baker, in the meat shop we have a butcher, in the grocery general store we have a grocer. And what I did was I took the descriptions that we had of them and put them in comments in here. So like for the general store, this person would sell a variety of goods such as food, clothing, and household items to the villagers and the miners. So I put those in there so that we would have them, because I didn't want to lose those, and I didn't want to clutter up the page with a bunch of text. So there, and then apothecary, restaurant, we have the grumpy cook, the waitress, the bartender, and of course we're going to have a general manager. So let's just go. We'll do general manager / owner. That's fine. Snow Torpedo, thank you very much for the follow. Okay, then our blacksmith. We have a skilled blacksmith. We have a high-level weapon. He makes high-level weapons and tools. We have a regular blacksmith that makes just provides weapons, simple weapons and tools. Town square, we haven't put anything in yet. Boarding house, we have the owner, the maid, the bellboy. Stables, we have the stable master and the stable boy. Carpenter, we have the woodworker. Seamstress and tailor inside the tailor shop. Barber, etc. So we have those, and then I started putting also things that you can do in those places. And it's not just like good things, helpful things you can do, but we also want to make a list of bad things you can do. You could use trading instead of money. That would give more remembering to missions before, maybe. But you were right and should have gotten to the Sarah. Sorry. Okay, so, and then I was looking at the rest of the stuff we had on there. So bad things to do in town. So stealing, breaking things, setting things on fire, talking bad about someone, lying, disgracing the temple, attacking the mayor, putting soap in the fountain, that kind of thing. Because I don't know why, but when I put the fountain in, I'm thinking, what would happen? Let's just throw like a whole bottle of dishwasher soap in there, and then or dish soap, and it would foam up, and the whole village would be filled with foam, and everybody would be upset. So then we started. I put the stuff in that we had from the mines, and I took the maps that we had, because we had some temporary maps there in the background of the mine. So let me pull this back here a little bit. So we run over here. We have all of our maps and stuff that we kind of threw together as just a temporary maps. But I went ahead and made them, put them inside the spreadsheet. So now we have the descriptions, but we also have the maps themselves. So if we can go here and all the maps are here, which I thought was just nice to have, you know. And as we move forward and we're redrawing these maps and recreating them, we'll replace them because we'll have to do them in such a way to where we have a beginning level, which is where the entry level to the mine, and then work our way down. And these I believe we can use these for inspiration for that, and for the other parts of the mine. So yeah, trading could be good. Happy clouds, happy trees. Thank you, Savvy. Mm-hmm. It's all good. All right. Okay. Then I haven't done anything for the faraway town because all we did in the spreadsheet is recognize it as just say there's a faraway town, and I haven't done that much on anything on the farm. But this is how I kind of brought everything kind of get together. Let me do this. Let me. I wish there was a way. Let's wrap and hide that. Okay. What we'll do though is let's take this whole row and we'll make a new one that is just to keep things clean. Let's make a new one. It is story points. And it's funny how, while putting this together, it actually made me kind of laugh because when you're looking at it on our Miro board, it doesn't look like we did. It looks like we did some, but it doesn't look like we did a lot. And you look at it in this format and you start to realize, oh my God, we did do a lot. We did put a lot of stuff together. And it went together extremely easily. I mean, for the most part, could have been worse. Do an insert. Okay. So now we have our story points, a story points page, which I think is probably better for us anyway. And we can add those as we're going along. So, woohoo! So, game stuff, characters. We can move some stuff around here. Let's take our characters and move them to the far end. That's good. Yep. Okay, then we'll clean this up. Okay, so that's better. And that way we have our name. Okay, our name, our controls, music, FX, characters. Yep, cool. Cool. Let's do this. Let's go. Get a light one. Let's do. Now, as I said, this doesn't mean that we're not going to go back to the Miro board. We'll go back to that several times, actually. It's just now, whenever we do something on the Miro board, we do have to come in and update this document. So, yeah. But what do you think? Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, San. Okay, let me ask you guys this then. What is missing? What is it when we're going through this? What is it you go, oh, this would be cool? What is missing? Because that's where I get some of my best ideas is when I'm sitting there, I'm going through this stuff. I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cool. Because we're still in the process of throwing every idea up there. I think it's a great way to organize the idea and work to do into a game. Yeah. I think if the bad actions had consequences, yes, they do. In fact, we had talked about that on the Miro board. Let me pull the Miro board up here. Is what I want to do, and I need to learn some programming to do this because I don't know how to do this. But our original idea over here was that there was as well as his life bar, he also had a quote balance bar, meaning like spiritual balance, blah, that kind of thing. You know, I almost said blah blah blah, but that's not what I meant. So whereas as he does actions, this goes either left or right. If he does bad things, it goes this way. If he gets into a certain score on this and he gets into the negative side, then when he goes into town, people treat him differently. Is basically what the idea was. So, and if he's doing good things, then and he gets in the positive realm, people also treat him differently, but the majority of the time they treat him in the middle here. So I wanted to set up a situation like that to help, so you can get rewards for being good, but you can also get rewards for being bad, because there will be bad people in town that when you're in the bad zone or the negative zone, they'll be like, let's deviously help you type thing. You know, whereas if you're in the positive zone, they'd be like, oh, you're a goody two shoes, get away from us. Yeah, we came up with that. I think it was in like the first couple days we were coming up with these ideas. So I've always wanted something like that, because yes, you'll have your life score and you'll have all that stuff, hearts. It could be whatever, you know, depending on what world we choose. It could be hearts, it could be just a power bar. But this here is something I need to know. I think what it means is if, as we build our quests and things like that, there is a positive score and a negative score for every action. And anytime you do any of the negative things, then that score brings your level to the negative side. Anytime you do a positive action, it brings to the other side. The trick is going to be to have it to where there's an equal amount of both. And then we're going to have to write dialogue for 3 different stories. You know, so we have the negative story, we have the positive story, the regular story, and then the positive story. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. Well, vertically would be cool, but the thing that I was thinking about is until we pick the world that it's going to be in, vertical may not be possible. But I do like the idea. Like if it's more sci-fi type feel to it, then yeah, something like that would be really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dark light side modes. That's a good way to put it too. So we have a, oh wow, that went quick. Okay, let's do this. Bring our spreadsheet back up. While we do that, we will load the game stuff. Because I was working on this, I didn't get a chance to actually work on Toby 2. But I will get Toby 2 up and going, and then I'll try to get Toby 2 up and going this weekend. Then we'll start laying things out in a more scalable way and go from there. Go Toby. Right now we still have Toby. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Ba-doop, boop. Hopefully this still works. Yep. So we still has Toby. He's a wonderful kid. Kid you see around the house every day. Yeah, I think that having multiple endings is actually pretty good. It also helps with replayability, is because you can come in and you can play the straight and narrow path and be all cool, and then you can come back and do it all negative, kick dogs and chase old women away and things like that. And then have an ending for that to where he's like caught and captured and, his grandfather dies and all that kind of stuff. Access to different women's based on balance bar. Yes. There's a lot of things you can do with that. Yeah. Which is why I wanted to do it that way. Or joins the uncle. Yes. If he comes out, if he does a whole lot of negative stuff, he can join the uncle and kind of be the heir to the throne of uncle's domain type thing. Yes, it offers more replayability, and to me, it just makes it a funner game. Because I like one of the things that we did, I think it was with Diablo 1, was the levels were randomly generated. So it meant for a whole lot of replayability in Diablo 1. And I want to do something like this, is I want to figure out how to do randomly generated levels for the mine, as an example, and then that will help with the replayability. Because if we do that, plus we have the honor system thing and stuff like that, there's a lot of the mathematics on how many different ways to play the game and how the game turns out is actually pretty cool. Extra dimensions, yes. Okay, let's see. So, like I said, the only thing I have right now for the other one, because I went last night and put the spreadsheet together, I didn't go and do some of the tutorials. So I'm hoping to get through a lot of the tutorials over the weekend. I do have some things I have to take care of on Saturday, which I'm looking forward to. And then after that, I will be able to spend some time on this. I'm also looking forward to this cold is almost gone, but all the medication is done now, so we're all good. My leg is healing up good, so. Yeah, we'll create an empire or something like that, without a doubt. What's funny is that we throw those ideas out there and we can say, let's go back to this. Pull it up over here. So if we go to, where did we put the uncle? Here he is. Okay. Because we can put a thing in here that's just like, okay, put a bar across just to have one. Because I like bars. But we can make things like, we can make this, for motivations. Let me grab this and just color it that way. We can have motivations and let's go to build an empire. Granddad would be to live in peace. Oh yeah, that's the correct one. Then it goes. To save GD. Yep. Yeah, because the grandfather's brother can 100% be into the. We are going to. Yes, no more meds. Last night was the last meds I took, so I ran out of them, which is I'm supposed to. So now my body hopefully will be happy and my fogginess will clear in the next couple days. So Monday I should be back to normal. Yes. So yeah, so we've added a motivations. Now, yes. So to Pirate Frank's point, yes, now we know that Granddad's brother's thing is to build an empire. That's what he's after. Because motivations are important. You need to know why. Hmm. Okay. Light, dark. All good. Yes, right. We are on track there. That is good. Let's go back to, let's save this because we did make some changes to the file. Okay. And back to here. Yeah, so as we work through this, let me start this thing up too. Bring this over here and then turn this one on. So as we go back to this and actually click on the right thing, dude. Okay. Now that we've built the paperwork part of it, now it's much easier as we go into each building. So we would go into the studio and we would go to Forest and then Granddad's training center. And we go, okay, we need pillars. We need posters of the family. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we could have a middle one here of the oldest ancestor. So that can kind of work. But we would put it on, we would go back to our spreadsheet here, turn that off and turn that off. We would add those things in here. So we know that here's the Granddad's training area and Granddad's clinic. And we'll probably start doing that today, is just start going through the buildings and saying, okay, what's needed? And we can go area, items. Let me put these things in here so that we, areas, items, and then needs, which means what? Oh, well, let's change that to interaction items. Now that's probably a good way to put it. Okay, so we go grab this. So we know that there's several things. For the fisherman's hut, we're going to need fishing poles, of course. We're going to need inner tubes because he has a thriving floating down the river business that he really doesn't want to lose, because he makes a couple fish off that every day. Not a demo to play Monday, but the ability to make the demo to play hopefully will be closer to on Monday. Yoko could say things like, all of this could be yours. All of this could be yours one day. All you have to do is give up your grandfather. Come with me. Inner tubes, let's see, hooks. Bait. Yeah, so those are interactive items that he can buy from the fisherman. There's tables in there. There's fly making, meaning he can make flies for fishing. Yes, nets. No, not the curtains. All this would be ours. And the curtains. The curtains open to a bright and shining morning. But the brightness is not the sun, it is fire. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Yeah, well, Thor does like his digital fishing. what we can do that is we can say, to your point, let me try this. Let's do this. And we'll have to think of this for the other one, the other buildings and stuff as well. Let's just call them mini games. You know, so fishing. You know, let's see other, but we could put mini games in all of these buildings. I think that would be kind of cool. It doesn't mean we have to put them in there, but if we should think of them, or think of one, then we can. Because not every building's going to be perfect for a mini game, and not every way of doing things. Because a mini game could be something like turning 5 pots in the see, 5 pots in the potter's area in the town. But yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Mini games. It's just a nice touch. You know, it's just okay. Do it. Yes. You like it. Do some more. Okay. So like Granddad's Hut could be mini games or washing the dishes. I don't know. Like I said, we don't have to have some in there. However, when we'll do this so that it's not something that is completely mandatory. What we'll do is we'll separate it here, and then it's just do like that. That way, if we come up with an option for a mini game in any of the buildings or anything that we come across, like fishing, then we can add it in there. Lobster pots. Yep. Well, we're in a lake and a river, so it'd probably be crawdad nets or crawdad cages, something like that. I don't think it'd be. We'll call them lobster pots, but for now, but it may be just like crawdads or something like that. Yeah, and he'll send us on different missions and stuff like that, and we'll come up with that. Is we probably need to when we build out this, I think it's the village one. Then we'll have to do that too. Is like what we'll need to add a. Let's do a copy. And then insert just for fun. And then insert another one. And we can say, we'll just make a quests line. And that way we can keep track of quests that were sent on from the different people in these. So the shopkeepers and stuff like that. What quests will they send us on? What things do they need? And it could be simple stuff. And then there could be, let's do this. Okay, bump it up, copy. Insert. And we'll call this mini games. Because technically we should be able to come up with a mini game for every one of these skills. So, but we'll see. Let's see. Catch fish when it rains or at night might be cool. So if we say oops, not what we wanted to do. Let's put it here. And then take this, move it there. Just do it. We'll go So what I put there was day and night cycle. And the reason I put that is someone just brought up the point is there's some things you should be able to do during the day you can't do at night, some things you can do at night that you can't during the day. So we can attach a day and night cycle to it as to whether it can be done. The goal is to have the majority of your interactable tasks as mini games. Doing dishes, yeah. Single player mini game where you have to take the dish out of the soapy water, scrub off the dirty dish, the dirty bits, and put it away. And a pretty good example, yeah. Yeah, because you can make anything into a mini game. You know, even like you're at the restaurant. If you're at the restaurant and they need you to serve food, you know, so that could be a mini game. Now you're thinking with portals and the creates the collectibles opportunity that can unlock higher awards or Easter eggs. Sweeping the floor, which we already have, is we do have sweeping the floor as one of the things on the list here. I think we have it in the boarding house, or we have it somewhere. Sweep up the carpenter shed. So you're sweeping up sawdust and things like that. No, it's great ideas. I mean, all this stuff is really good. You know, so what we can do is we'll take our day and night one and we'll go back to the forest here and we'll insert it here. Okay, so we haven't lost anything and we need to bring it down. Sorry, I missed the keyboard. Missed the keyboard click. Yeah, so we're all set there. Cool. That was a much easier way to do that. Now I feel stupid for not doing it that way, but that's okay. So we can do this. Let's use that. It's fine. So yeah, so we can do day and night cycles for everything. Is if we have our minute game, is it something that could be done in the day? Is it something that can only be done at night? You know, like someone may send him to follow a star or something. So that's something that can only be done at night. You guys get the basic idea. It's not, but it's cool to think of them and put them into play. Look at the things we've thought of already today. This is actually great. You know, the mini game is great. We have a day and night cycle. You can see how different formats can give you the ability to come up with a whole bunch of different stuff. Floor sweeping minigame, which looks like a Dance Dance Revolution thing, where you gotta hit the arrow on time. Funny. Bonus stats to specific. Oh yeah, there's always your gear, whatever you have on. We're gonna have to build a whole stat tree for all that stuff, and you know, as the levels. Luckily, we're not doing 100 levels here. We're doing 10. And those stats will be updated when the ancestor gives him the next power up, which is where he levels up. So when we're in the family crypt, we also, I think I added the fountain down here. Yeah, the fountain's here, because the fountain will be where once he finishes the quest that the ancestor sent him on, and he comes back with everything that the ancestor sent him to get, then the ancestor will lead him to the fountain in the middle of the room, and then he will drink from the fountain, and the ancestor will bestow the new item, and he will level up. So, which I want the sprite for him to change to a little bit bigger sprite each time. So we'll make 10 or 11 different versions of him, and then it'll be replaced as he levels up. I like the idea, Sparta, of the Dance Dance Revolution thing. My only problem is how do you do that with... I don't want people to have to change controllers in the game, so I that's my only thing about it. But I like the idea. Rewards. So the rhythm minigame. Ain't worth the grind for stats, yes. Rhythm game about sleeping. So we do some Neil Young songs. Is that it? The sweeping rhythm game about sweeping. Ads are coming up already? Really? What time is it? Oh, wow. Arrow keys, yep. Controller has a D-pad. Okay. Awesome. Your movement keys would be the control. Yeah, that's 100% doable. It'd be fun. Regardless of whether using a joystick. Yep. But yeah, so here we are now. Game. These are things we have to put together. We now have a motivation screen, which is good. Story points, which are just the base story points. This is just the, for lack of a better way to put it, it is the it is the elevator speech for this game. So I tried to make it as small as possible. So here's the elevator pitch. Let's do this. Sorry, I just want it cleaned up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Those don't have to be centered. That's obnoxious. Do it that way. Okay. Good. Sorry, just doing some cleanup. Ads. Wait. Oops. Move that over there for now. Zoom in. Yeah, so there's our story stuff. So yeah, so this is our base our base story. So I think it's good for what we're doing. We don't have to go into huge amounts of stuff, you know, and we can build. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of interstitials and things like that we can build off of this. As we're making different things, he sees different things and learns stuff. Yeah, scope creep is a problem. We will be discussing that. So in every game, there has to be someone that says no. It sounds like a terrible job, and it is, and it's the one person that gets complained about the most. But we'll talk about that. But that's one of the things that was brought up was scope creep. Scope creep. What scope creep is when someone comes in and says, "I need X," and then they come back the next day and say, "Oh, I need X, but I need X and Y." And then they come back 3 days later and they go, "Okay, I need X, Y, and Z." You know, and they just keep moving the bar on that, on what they're trying to do. So at some point, and we're not to that point yet because we're still throwing ideas out and stuff like that. We're just consolidating a little bit more. At some point, we're going to have to say, okay, we're done putting features in. Because if we don't, this part here can go on forever and we will never get a game. And people will get frustrated and people will hate the boss and it will just turn bad. You know, so there comes a time, and I've been in situations like that here where you work really, really hard on something, and sometimes you work on them for months, you know, and you get it all right to what was asked for, and they come in and say, oh, you know, that's really cool. But yesterday I saw this thing, so I want this all to change. And I've had so many times people come in and do that. And that will ruin everything that you want to do in the game industry. And I would say to people that do that, stop it. You know, because you're never going to get a good game from that. All you're going to do is you're going to keep second guessing yourself over and over and over again, and drive the people around you that are doing the work crazy. Scope creep. Let's see what Sparta says. Scope creep is something that's gonna be here until you break down this massive document with all these hundreds of pieces on them to weekly tasks. Yes, absolutely. Where you'd finish 1 to 3 pieces at a time, then it feels less massive and it doesn't overwhelm you. But scope creep is the bane of the game industry's existence. But yeah, you do. But that's why at a certain point we say, okay, you know what? We have enough information to make a good game. And we're not going to keep on this. Because you cannot, well, let me word this as correctly as I can. You cannot and should not be designing the game until it ships. Meaning, if you are still designing a game the day before the game ships, you're in big trouble. You know, that you are right that is generally how it works, but I don't know anybody that's been in the game industry where someone with more power has come in and said, I know, but change it anyway. And if they haven't had that happen, then you know what? More power to them. That's awesome. But I know a lot of times where things were done and ready to go, and people above you come in and say, okay, change it. And then they don't consider how long it's going to take. They don't consider anything. They just go, nope, we're changing it. Here's why. Sometimes they don't even tell you why. Unless you are your own boss, then you've been in that situation. Yes. I've not always been my own boss. There's been times when I've been allowed to freely do what I feel is right and stuff like that. But not every one of my bosses was that way. You know, but there's a lot of trust there that has to be built up too. That happens with devs in general. I've seen a medical app keep getting pushed back because boss wanted more new, different stuff all the time. Yeah, it happens. It even happens with a video. Like if we're hired, they say we want a video for this, you know, and they give you the work order, they give all the explanations in there and all that stuff. And there's let me get to this. There are legitimate times when scope creep has to happen, and I'll explain why. Is if you're building a video, which takes months to make, and you're doing animations and stuff like that, the only time scope creep is absolutely should be adhered to or used is when the game itself has changed. If they have changed something in the game that makes what you've been working on irrelevant, then you have to modify it to make it relevant again. And that's a legitimate scope creep. But if it's just that Billy Ray Joe Bob woke up on the left side of the bed and saw the color blue, so now he wants all of the Willy Willy Wonk Wax to be blue instead of purple, then that's just no. There, Savvy Otter, you are correct. There is an absolute disconnect there, but there doesn't have to be. And this is where the communication part of our job is the most important. That's why you need really, really good producers. And I've had producers save me over and over again. I think one of my best producers ever was Jen. And Jen was just absolutely amazing because she could go to them when they make a ridiculous request and talk them through it to where they see that it's something that need to be done. She was awesome. Jen. Yeah, I called her Jen. She was my first producer. Way back when we started the Machinima team, Jen was my first producer. She worked in QA. No, she was GM. I think she was a GM for WoW. And she applied for the job for my producer when I had the Machinima team. And she just hit it out of the park every day. And now she's one of the top producers in the industry, and she's amazing, but I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to work with her. She was just great. Jen. And if you're out there, Jen, hi, Jen. Yeah, communication as you get bigger and bigger becomes more and more important and becomes more and more difficult. Yeah. Lashuta, what? What? Let's see what's up here. Yeah, we used to tease Brian. God, what was Brian Sousa? We used to tease him because for the first few years, I think he worked at Blizzard. Every single product he worked on was canceled. So I always felt bad for him because he did some amazing work, but unfortunately, the stuff that he worked on got canceled. Yes, to Sparta's point, he says older games have one shot. You either nailed it or you came out with a broken game that no one will buy. Yeah, because they were on carts. These little cartridges, you can't patch them, you can't fix them, you can't do anything to them. Your game had to be right the first time. The minute you gave it to Nintendo or Sega or whoever to put on these carts, you were done. And you could change nothing. Let's see what else he says. Meanwhile, nowadays, studios rely on more marketing than they do on development teams. Yes. And when marketing says we got to ship it out on that date, no matter what, studios ship out broken games. Executives don't give a shit because they know they can fix it in a couple months with a patch. And Sir Nicholas, that is why AAA is dying, in my opinion. But I want to see I think you're correct. And here's the thing, is one of the things that we were really, really good at for the first 20 years at Blizzard, we did not ship a game before we thought it was ready. We didn't follow the regular protocol of, okay, you have to release a game this quarter. You have to release that game that quarter. We didn't do that. What we did was, and when people asked us, when is this game coming out? And we would just say, and people used to give us hell for it, we would just say, when it's ready. Because we were never going to push out a game that wasn't ready. That was our credo. That was how we made games, because we learned from these days to make a great game first. Don't rely on first day patches. Don't rely on we can fix it later. Those are all excuses. Make a good game first. And then done. Does that mean that you don't patch? No, you absolutely do patch. There's legitimate reasons to patch a good game. There's computer setups and stuff like that you're not aware of when you're building the game and stuff like that. So patches for cleanup and stuff like that, things that were missed in the quality assurance process, but you should never be remanufacturing the game through patches. That gets real scary. Yeah, AAA doesn't mean what it used to mean. Period. I mean, because you can even look at like Destiny. The first release of Destiny was like, what the hell is this? Then they went back and reworked it, and it became popular. But when it first came out, it was just like, huh? I always wait and never buy games before the release date. I do the same thing with phones. Santu writes, I always wait and never buy games before the release date or pre-orders. It's just sad to buy a game that installs, needs 100 gigs of space, and then download another 50 gig patch. Yeah, sucks. I do the same thing with phones. I buy a phone, and then I'll let 3 or 4 new versions of it go by before I buy a new phone again. Iraq ATK, you are correct. Patches are to fix the game, not finish it. But unfortunately, with some marketing teams, they force games to be released before they're finished. So the patches most of the time, I would say most of the time, patches now are to fix the game, not to, finish the game, not fix it. Which are technically both the same, but every time when they made RoboCop game and literally just didn't finish it, they just made the last level they made have an impossible time limited to beat. That's funny. Yeah, you can be very creative in not doing your job. A lot of people are. I think there's some very creative ways not to work. Destiny, when it first came out, was a bit of a mess. I think that they should have went with the original storylines that was put up by, I forget his name. I apologize. I think they should have done that. And I think that when they came back out with it, that they fixed a lot of it. But yeah. You're Jerry, are an Apple or Android guy? I have an Apple. It's just, it is what it is. Okay, Monster Hunter. Yeah, there's a lot of games. You can name games all day long that were put out before their time. For the first 20 years of Blizzard, we just didn't do that, and people didn't understand it. Another thing we did is we threw games away that we worked on sometimes for years because they weren't right. They weren't good. We didn't like playing them. If you don't like playing your game, then your game sucks. One of one of the ways to tell if your game is doing well, like if you work in a game company and you're building games, if people in your company on their own are playing your game during lunch and after hours, you have a good game. If nobody is playing it and you have to force people to play it, you don't have a good game. It's the number one sign. If even you don't want to play it, it's not a good game. We gave up on looking for AAA titles with my wife. The only thing we've still looking forward to is Monster Hunter. But Capcom has a very good track record with the title of it I follow, not going into Dungeon Dogma. Yeah, I remember a time, and what's funny is what you get from making sure that what you're working on is good. Is I remember a time when someone said, Blizzard's coming out with a new game. And without even thinking, people would just go, I'm buying it. Here's my money. Take it. Take my money. Give me it. They wouldn't even know what it was. But what they did know was that it was going to be a good game and that it was going to be a well thought out game. They know it's going to be a complete game and that it wasn't going to just be, oh my God, I've just bought something broken. Okay, where were we? So yeah, scope creep is an issue. Marketing schedules are always an issue and will always be an issue. So I would keep those in mind when you're building something. And what was that? Blizzard used to be the A team. Now it's not sure. I'm not sure we even have an A team in game dev. I don't know. I don't think we do. I know that there's some really, really talented people in all the game studios, including Blizzard, and they're all there. There's a lot of really talented people there. But I think that, unfortunately, the industry itself has probably been kind of overshadowed by the executive class. And it's more about generating money than generating the best game. And I'm hoping that, like everything else, is cyclical and it will change back to let's create really cool stuff. Anyone ever takes the shackles off of those fantastic developers, watch out, because we're going to see some amazing games. Absolutely. I think the smartest executive, a smart executive eventually will come into a situation where there's a hugely talented pool of people and will say, take all the time you need, make me a good game. And then that will be amazing. Because what I always tell people is this, is if you make a good game, everything else is free. Like if you look at early Blizzard stuff, we made Warcraft, then Warcraft 2. Do you ever remember seeing I would say the first 15 years of Blizzard, do you ever remember seeing an ad for Blizzard games? Like a downright on TV commercial ad for Blizzard games or on the internet? There weren't any. There were banners. Because that's all we did was banners. Everything that all the Blizzard games that sold mostly by word of mouth. And us saying, we're going to release a game on this date. But was there huge marketing things to it and stuff like that? No. There was minor marketing. But the community and the people that trusted us to make good games showed up every single time we released a game. So if you make a good game, guess what? You get lots of money. You get to meet all of your heroes from your childhood. You get to go to places all over the world, and you get to live a charmed life because you made a good game. If you make a bad game, you get to get yelled at by your boss. You get to get laid off by executives who don't understand what game dev is in the first place. So it's mostly their fault that the game was released before it was ready. So they're the ones that should have been laid off, but they're not because you are. And you don't get to meet all your heroes from your childhood. You don't get to travel all over the world. You don't get any of that stuff. But if you make a good game, you do. Yeah, the better the game you make, the more money you're going to make. But their problem is that they have quotas, basically, for lack of a better word, the word to use. They have quotas for what they have to make, is they don't care what the game is. They just know that they have to make $100,000 next month, you know, and that's killing us. Yeah, take the marketing budget and make it into finishing the game. Throw it in there. Do it. Yeah. Yeah, and we did it completely on reputation, and we worked hard for that reputation. You know, it was a lot of hard work, and a lot of people showed up every day and sometimes went for 16 hours a day working because we wanted it to be as good as the players wanted it to be on all the games that we worked on. So, yep. Make a good game. Remember, remind the world how it's done. Well, the thing is, if even this one, we'll work on this one, we'll build it out, we'll play test it, we'll do all that kind of stuff. And then if it sucks, we'll throw it away and come up with something else. Okay. But what did we learn from it? You know, that's the big part. Are we talking within Blizzard or make good games on your own? All of the above. If you put out a game that you're not proud of, you've failed. If you can't go to your friends and say, I really want you to play this game and be excited about it, then the game you're trying to give them sucks. Never meet your heroes. Sometimes most of the heroes that I have met, the people that I admired as a kid and in high school and stuff like that, I met, and all of them were awesome. I don't remember even one being a bad apple. There was one band that played BlizzCon that was very unpleasant, but and I won't name it here, but everyone else for all those years were fun, absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yes, Iraq, ATK makes a very good point. Yes, and says sometimes it was throwing away your hard work because it wasn't good, and all you got in exchange was not trashing your own reputation. Exactly. If you put out a bad game, people are going to go, oh, that team put out that game. I didn't like that game. If you put out a good game, they go, oh, I remember that game. That team did an amazing job, or that company did an amazing job. Let's buy their next thing. It's pretty simple. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to throw your ideas away sometimes. It's also okay to save them, because some of the ideas we have on this may be good ideas for the next game or the game after that, or okay, where are we at? Okay. Blaze the Phoenix Road. I'd argue that even if the game sucks, just going out and doing it means you succeeded as long as you learn something. Yes, absolutely true. But it doesn't mean that you have to release that failure to the public. You know, because what you can do is save it, make the next game and learn more, maybe go back and fix whatever was wrong with it, and then release it after. but it does, or just trash it all together and just walk away from it. I shook the hand of one of my favorite musicians and said, "Thanks for making music," and he was so excited to hear it. I still remember it 15 years. Yeah, there are some very creative people out there that are so friendly and are so just like, "Oh my God, you geeked out over that? That's awesome." Happens all the time. It's I don't know what makes big stars and stuff like that jade. It's like even now, like I've had some really amazing interactions with fans over the years. And I've talked about my favorite one, which is when we were announcing Diablo 3 in Paris, where I sat on the floor in an auditorium with a gentleman and his son was about probably 10 or 11 or something like that, or he was very young. And all he wanted to do was talk about the games that we had made. And I sat with him, and his father was interpreting because they were French and I was not. I didn't know French. Still don't know French. And we just sat on the floor in this auditorium with about 5,000 people around us. And I just answered this kid's questions, and I thought it was amazing. And I'm assuming he went away very happy about it, because when he left, he looked very happy. General hope is that they fixed their issues. Yeah. I know you won't say it was, which is fine, but man, now I really want to know who got banned. You threw me a forbidden fruit. What? I'm not sure he's talking to me. Yeah, throwing away bad work also gives you knowledge. It comes to the whole thing is when you have to take things away from artists because they're going to work them to death, because they're going to work a piece of art to death. Sometimes you have to stop and say, okay, you're done. Maybe not to the general public, but possibly to other game devs or something, to get feedback. Helps to learn what people think was done right or wrong. Oh, absolutely. Because I think that, like, I did when we first started this, I did a small presentation about my game theories and stuff like that. And one of the things I describe is that game dev is like making a donut. Is your job is to make the cake donut that's in the middle and make that cake donut as best you possibly can. Then you take it to your peers and you say, okay, what do you think of this cake donut? And they give a bunch of suggestions, and you make a bunch of changes and stuff like that, which is now the icing on the donut, and then after that, and you get it all happy again, then you take that and show it to family and friends, public, all that kind of stuff. And they make suggestions, and then that's the sprinkles on the donut, so that's the theory I have for that. Is, yeah, you need to get feedback. Feedback is absolutely important, because the more you work on a game, the smaller that bubble becomes, and you're not always capable of seeing what's wrong with it. So you have to get input. You have to listen to other people that are playing it and stuff like that. Yeah, you never try to make a game that you're not capable of making. It's very difficult. And sometimes knowing your limits is a very good thing to do. And knowing that even though you're limited now, a year from now, you may not have the same limits. A year after that, you may not have the limits you have next year. So you're going to keep expanding your knowledge, which is kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Is don't only learn what you do, say art. Don't only learn how to do art. Also go, okay, how does the programmer use my art? How does this programmer interact with my art? What learn those things, and then learn kind of what they do too. Say, okay, well, they need to do the X, Y, and Z to this piece of art to make it work. I can now, because I have that knowledge, I can go back now and look at my pieces of art and fix it to where they don't have to do all those steps sometimes, and also I just have the knowledge of the things that are around you and the people that are around you. Didn't you say someone was banned from BlizzCon? No, I didn't say they were banned. I just said that they were not friendly. Nobody got banned though. No, Zotolord has not been banned, although he is the inspiration for our banning technology, shall we say. If any of you haven't seen our banning technology, it's ready to go. Should anybody kind of become a dick, that's basically the only way you're really going to get banned on this channel, is if you're being a dick. It always helps to have another pair of eyes. Yeah, always. Yeah, because you get too close to an item, to a piece. If you go to when you get too close to something, you don't see everything anymore. Then you also have your emotions. And this is a horrible saying, but it's something we used to use very early at Blizzard. And I think there was, I forget who coined it originally, but you have to learn to kill your babies. And what we meant by that is you may have the most precious idea to you that you think is going to save the world, but it may not fit with what we're doing now and what we're doing for this game. So you have to forget about it. You have to walk away from it. You have to get yourself focused on what we're doing for this game. I love donuts, and I think that's a great theory. Well, there's a full explanation on it on, I think it was in November. I did a short PowerPoint presentation of who I am and what I did, and I explained the my donut theory in that. Yes, aim for a little more you can do, and you always make it. You'll learn new things. It'll be great. It's top-notch banning technology. It's pretty good. I like it. It's silly, and it made two of our original not so nice people in the chat friends to the chat, which I think is awesome. So it worked out really, really well. I'm way behind on chat, guys. Sorry. Also, if you're talking to me, please put the Your Joy thing in, because now I'm spending time reading conversations that I'm not supposed to be part of, or that you guys are having amongst yourselves. No worries, Nicholas. You're fine. If killing ideas is killing babies, called me cute. Well, the thing is some ideas, people honestly, and I think actually passionately, is probably a better word, think that their idea is the best idea that has ever been conceived of. And there are times when those just don't fit with the work that's being done, or with where the direction things are going. So we've always just said, okay, kill it, move on to the next thing. Okay. Because it was preventing us from moving forward. Okay. Yeah. Your Joy is so behind following chat and hasn't done a thing in his game dev in like half an hour. Yeah, you're true. But we'll get there. Don't worry. I'm actually enjoying the conversation. You're going to get more out of me chatting than you're going to get out of me filling out spreadsheets. In creative writing, the phrase is murder your darlings. Same thing. I like to take those darlings and put them in a box and use for later projects. Yes, and that's what I was talking about before. Is like, even I have, if I reach to my right here, I have my book of ideas that I fill in. Anytime I come up with something or think of something, I just put it in there, or if it's a project I'm working on currently, I'll put it on a Post-it note, and we know how I feel about Post-it notes. So I throw it on the wall. But you're at a point in the game dev which can be very tedious. Yeah. And having a conversation with you is better. Yeah. Your chats on game dev are incredibly valuable. Well, I'm glad they help. I hear so many pieces of advice I know from deep experience. Well, I try to be as open and truthful as I can. I mean, it's all I can say is, here's the subject you've brought up. Here's what I've experienced in the past. Here's what I think can help it. And then move on. That's basically where we're at. Because I always have said many, many times, I go, the problems in game dev are finite. We make them infinite. Meaning there are a set number of problems you have in game dev that you have to solve and do. But if you have the wrong team, if you have the wrong way of looking at things, you can create more problems than you actually have. And that can like kill you. The retro RPG game I'm making, I like playing it and at times get too much into playing it when I should be testing it. Yeah, that happens. But I think the game is niche and possible a small pool. It's a game I want though. Perfect. That's exactly where you should be with your game. If you forget your testing and you're just playing, that's a good game. Now, give it to someone else to play and see if they feel the same way. See if they just, okay, I played it 5 times yesterday. I played it again today. That's a reason I love being here, even if you're not doing anything. I'm soaking up your way of thinking. I'm so sorry. It must be painful. Yes, reminds me of Einstein. Brilliance has limits. Idiocy is not so burdened. That's when the niche part bites me. I need to find someone who likes that sort of game. Yeah. I mean, we always just started with friends and family, because sometimes you don't want a developer's opinion. You want a player's opinion. Because a developer will see problems that a player won't. And that may mean that that problem isn't really a problem. Yeah, find someone. Actually, okay, that's not to me. Okay. Alrighty. Where were we over here? Sorry, I got off track. Oh, wow. Our time's almost up too for this. We have to, about 15, 20 minutes. We need to move on to our raid board. Okay, let's see. We want to. Okay, so what we're going to, what my goal is once I finish the new tutorials and have built, we're going to be able to actually build this a little bit better to scale, to with a lot more optimized code and stuff like that. And then our structure is just going to be better. And then we can take all the stuff that we're doing in our paperwork and on our Miro board and start really flushing it out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the village and all that stuff that we put together is 100% great. It's just massive, so we will be refining the look and feel of it and stuff like that. But then as we start walking around as in real game, then we can start saying, okay, I think we need X here and we need Y here and things like that. So, What did I miss? Okay, sorry, there's something. I have seen developers make this incredibly complex game and the other devs like it, but players find it too complicated. Yeah, oh, absolutely. There were games that we played way back when that the programmer's like, oh my God, this is great. Yeah, if you like counting beans for 5 hours, this is a great game. And which is something programmers like to do. They like to count beans, but artistic types or people with a different mindset don't, you know. We made Earjoy sidetrack like you would a teacher at school. Haha. Those were my favorite type of lessons, as the teacher would be super passionate about what they were talking about, just like you here. Okay, cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm fine with it. Like I said, when we first started this section here, the game dev section, it wasn't about making a game. It wasn't about any of that. It was just about someone asking a question of how would you do it now if you had to start from scratch. And I said, like I always say, a pencil and paper. But instead of pencil paper, we use Miro. So, but now we're going back to spreadsheets, which technically is a digital pencil and paper. Well, because it's true. Tudo that's what we used to call it. Is because there are games out there that are literally about counting beans. And the reason I say that is that they're built for people who are so logically minded that they count beans. Where they don't, there's a very linear track to it. It goes straight through, all that kind of stuff. It's very important as to how many hit points the bean has. It's very important as to how many hit points they've lost. They want to know those stats while they're playing. Not everybody's like that. When I'm beating up on a guy, it's great that he has a health bar there, but I'm not looking so close to say, he has three points left. I just have to hit him one more. Not looking at that, but there are people that do that and really enjoy that, and I'm fine with that. But it's not everybody. Everybody else is just going, I hit him in the knee, I hit him in the ankle, I hit him in the waist, I got him. Yeah, I know. I come up with very silly ideas about stuff. So sorry about the bean thing. It's just the first thing that came to my mind, and I thought it was funny. So maybe I have a T-shirt. I'm not counting beans today. Yeah. There are a lot of games out there that are perfectly happy, and they're very happy doing it. Just wow. Yeah. To me, that's just a waste of time. Takes the fun out of it for me. But other people, it's fine. So what you do is you make a game that's really fun for artists, and you play, and you're groovy, and blah, 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 blah. And then you can pop up a little window on the side that throws all the bean counting up there so that the programmers like it too. Just kidding. That's half a joke. I'm not going to tell you which half. No. So yeah, so yeah, from the tutorials I'm doing now, we will improve this, and we'll get it better. But what I like about this, though, is as haphazard it's been and how just completely just boom, we're doing it. It became. I love the fact that it's inspired other people to do things and to come up with ideas and stuff like that. And I will call her out again because the Savvy Otter did a really good mock-up in Sims of our little town, and that was awesome. And if it's linked in the Discord, so if you want to check it out, I suggest it. It's really cool. But that's just it. Is we're here to inspire people, to help people move on and to make cool stuff. And it doesn't have to be exactly like what we're doing. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be what you feel is best and what you think is cool. And but check out that video. It's really awesome. So we'll use our, Savvy Otter put up here, member berries. So member Savvy Otter's tutorial, it's out there in the Discord. Please watch it. And you'll see, you know, just something as simple as what we're putting together can inspire some really, really cool stuff. What time is it? Okay. Okay. Oh, ads. Ads are coming. I know you're surprised. But I do have to pay the bills, so I do need the ads, sorry. If you had to vote for people to be VP'd on the channel, VIP'd on the channel, I would nominate Savvy. Oh, I agree. I think that both in front of on the show itself, but also behind the scenes, Savvy Otter has helped me with quite a few things, and I give her huge credits for that. Put berries up because you talk about beans. Yeah. I mean, Savvy Otter is responsible for when we made the changes to the Discord. She put together a mock-up for me and taught me a whole bunch of stuff. And did the mock-up for the town in Sims. She's done some really, really cool stuff. She would be, if I knew how to do VIP status, I would definitely make her a VIP. But I'll have to figure that out. Oh, we're in an ad. Some water. Some water. Like I said, I would give Savvy Otter VIP right now if I knew how to. So I have to look that up. And the best part is she's extremely humble as well. So I give her a lot of credit for that. She's awesome. Sorry, I was letting my voice rest there for a second, like doing some. Oh, is it that simple? It's just /VIP? I would assume that there was some cost to that, but let's try that out. Let's see if that works. Okay, bump, bump, bump. Okay. The VIP. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Hopefully it doesn't like throw her out or anything like that. It's /VIP Savvy Otter. Let's see if that does anything. Oh, okay, yes. It says you have added Savvy Otter as a VIP on this channel. Savvy, congratulations. You are our very first VIP. Well deserved, by the way. Yeah, it says you have added Savvy as a VIP on this channel. Let's see, where's the... Oh, so it's a little diamond thing. Yay! Okay, now I know how to do that. What's funny is it's exactly how I learned to raid. Is you guys said try this, you know. So the diamond is all hers. I'll have to go in and look at the icons for those and see if we can come up with a really cool one. That would be nice. What is this one with the crown? The crown one is Prime Gaming. Yeah, look at that. What's the white crown? It says Prime Gaming, so I'm assuming that they're a subbed with Prime. So Savvy, you are now our very first VIP. And like I said, very, very well deserved, you know, for all the help that you've given us and all the things both in front of the camera and behind the camera that you've helped us with. That's awesome. And I hope that your area of the world has good weather. So, yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We have 5 more minutes on the game dev stuff. So we're just going to hang for about the 5 minutes and not start into something. Happy to help anytime. Yes, you are. And you have been extremely gracious with your time for all of it, to help all of us. Thank you very much. So we're not going to get into anything else on the game dev side. I do, like I said, I will be working through the tutorials moving forward so that we can get start building stuff up and then work from there. Yep. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to change. We're going to go back to our main screen here. Turn off the game. Turn back on the logo so that I know where to end this when I go to edit it later to put it on the YouTube's game dev channel. Could you share the links of the tutorials you're looking at? Tutorials I'm looking at. I did. They're in the tutorials are in the share a link section of our Discord. So you have to scroll back for them for a while, but yeah, they should be in there. Let me see if I can find the date for them real quick. Okay, Savvy Otter's mock-up was done on 120. So if you go back to 120, then that's where hers is. Maybe I didn't share it. I thought I did. Wait, maybe it was in. Oh, I think it was in learning. But Savvy's is on January 20th. So if you scroll up to January 20th in the share a link, I think that where is our learning education one? Learning new things. Okay. In the Learning New Things channel, it's the first one is way back here. Boop, 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 boop. There's the penguins. Okay, the first one is on January 13th, which was the first 6-part tutorial I did to make an RPG in Game Maker. And the new one that I'm doing is from last weekend, which is to the 1st of February. And it links you to the playlist for the tutorial as well as the focus music I was playing behind it when I was listening through it at double speed. So that's in learning new things. And then the other one is in share link. So check those out. That would be good. Okay, let's see. Bubba, they are in Discord. Yes, they are. No, they're in there. Go back to, for Savvy Otter's link, go to share a link, and it's January 20th. Go up to January 20th, and you'll be good. If you don't have the Discord link, oh, wow. Savvy is a VIP. That is correct. So she can share a link. I forgot about that. You must happen to have one of the bit. That's a bit problematic. Okay, I don't know what that is. I found them. Okay, cool. So yeah, so those are the ones I'm doing. I like the second for the Game Maker Studio. I like the second one more because of the way it structures everything. Whereas the first one is, here's all the basics to go in and jump and just do, which is the one that we did to build what we have. But the other one, I really, really like it. Savvy is now savvy and powerful. That is correct, Santo. So cool. Let me see that link. Does it work? Ah, I use the app, so it doesn't open the app, but it looks like it worked. Cool, cool. All right. So we are now going to end our game dev day.